Hello, beautiful listeners. Welcome to yet another exciting time with me, Sonia Okozier, on the program You and I here on Black Empress World. And today on the program, we are going to be talking about ex baggage. You heard me right. The letters ex baggage. We're talking about ex girlfriends, ex boyfriends, ex husbands, ex wives, and the baggage that comes with them. Stay with me, and we'll be right back after this time out. Glad to have you back on the program, you and I, with Sonia Kujira. And today we are talking ex baggage, as I already mentioned, the baggage from your past previous relationships or marriage. Now, the ex baggage that we're talking about is very important in today's discussion because you discover that many persons, men and women alike, try to venture into new relationships without necessarily considering the fact that they haven't moved on from their past relationships. And then they carry along with them the baggage from the previous relationships, take it with them into the new relationship, and then it ends up affecting the new relationship in all forms of negative ways possible. You discover now that for some men and women who loved, who gave their whole, their heart, their thoughts, their minds, their money, their emotions, their time, who sacrificed it all in their previous relationships, whether be it married or not, and something happens along the line and then relationship ends or the marriage ends, and those people try to want to move on and they get into new relationships with new people. You realize that these new people may be without blames in quotes, but because there's this baggage or there are parts of the previous relationships that these people are still holding on to, they move all of this frustration, the anger, the depression into the new relationship, and in turn hurting these new people who are innocent in quotes. I'll give a very good example. There are situations where men have been heartbroken because their ladies cheated on them. This is a bit rare, but it happens because I think there's no research to this one anyway, but it's really out there that men cheat more than ladies in relationships. Of course, I'm still waiting for persons to, come out here officially with statistics to this one. But from my own end, I've seen lots of guys, I've seen lots of women, and if I were to sit in my corner and judge, I would say men are greater cheats when it comes to relationships. Now, let's take, for instance, the man who was supposedly faithful or even unfaithful, but expects some level of faithfulness from his female partner, married or not, and ends up being cheated on. And eventually, such a relationship comes to an end because he now mistrusts women. He goes on to the next relationship thinking that if my previous girlfriend, whatever her name is, can cheat, then this new girlfriend, no matter how perfect, no matter how good looking she is, no matter how sincere and how loyal she is, she can cheat also. And such men begin to show their insecurities by asking questions that doesn't make sense. For instance, the partner is busy at work, sincerely busy at work, and they come through with, how can you be so busy that your phones were on silent? Come on, I was working. My phones have got to be on silent. And then like, okay, I didn't hear you call because my phones were not ringing out because I was busy working. And in their heads, they begin to have this picture that, oh, she has been with another man. And then the lady wants to sleep at night, for instance, maybe they're together, maybe relationship, and then the same lady now comes through with with her phone being on silent. And then the man goes, why have you turned your phone on silent mode? And the lady says, baby, I'm trying to sleep. I don't usually, even when I'm alone in my own house, I do not usually keep my phones ringing. You get the message. But I realize that for those kind of men, they read meaning to every other thing that the lady does. Some would want to say that because the lady has turned her phone on silent at that point, she definitely has got skeletons in our cupboard, which may not necessarily be the case. But the case here is the man's insecurity playing the better part in the situation. And he has moved on with a baggage of trust issues from his previous relationship into this one. And let's talk, for instance, about the lady who has probably given all her heart out to, to men, who has maybe taken care of a man with her money. This is not so common for some ladies. There are ladies these days who are like, okay, I want to take care of my man. There are some who go Dutch and everything. Like, if you're living together, we're paying the bills. If you're paying the rent for the house and paying the bills, if you're paying the bills and buying the food and all of that, they go 50-50 on most of the expenditure. While there are some ladies that they are the ones who get to take care of the man all round when it comes to the finances. Like, it's almost 100% coming through from the woman. And then, after investing so much time, patience, and money, importantly, finance into the relationship, you realize that the man, maybe at the end of the day, she discovers that the man was only with her because of what he was benefiting, the material gains from that relationship. And from his own perspective, he was just playing her for a fool. He was being smart. And eventually, maybe she finds out relationship hits the rocks. This lady moves on with the baggage onto the next relationship. And then, this next relationship, the man sincerely loves her, the man sincerely wants to be there for her, the man sincerely wants to build a lifetime with her. And maybe the man is really struggling innocently now, and he needs all of the support financially. But because of what she has been through in a previous relationship, she wouldn't want to even leave the cent, you know, one naira, $1. She doesn't want to leave any money or invest any money into that relationship. And at the end of the day, a new partner will begin to see her as being selfish because maybe she's got it and he knows she's got it, not because he's leaning onto her for support, but because he really needs the support sincerely. But trust me, such a lady would not want to extend her hand of fellowship to the man, to her partner, by investing her finance into it again, considering what she had been through from a previous relationship. These are some of the examples of baggage coming through from previous relationships into new ones. Also, let's talk about lack of communication. This is a key thing in most relationships and could lead to relationships being, being broken off. Now, let's assume that in your previous relationship, communication was the problem and it was coming from your other partner. You are the type that you kept communicating, you kept putting all your energy into it. You were the one reaching out, you were doing the calls, you were doing the follow up, the messages, and all of that. And it gets to some point, and somehow that relationship ends, and you just get fed up. And you move on to the next relationship, and you're like, I'm not investing this much into it. And before you even have that time with your new partner to even give him the benefit of doubt to say, okay, we're trying to build something here, you just give up even before the game starts. So sometimes some of these baggages that we drag in from our previous relationships into present relationships, they end up tearing us apart. They end up not giving us a real chance at exploring better and new options. I'm talking about the new relationships. Now, let's also talk about the fact that some persons bring on the baggage of pain from their previous relationship and they dump it all on the present person. A good example is that man who was cheated on by his ex girlfriend or wife, and then he finds a new girl now who is dating, and then the anger that comes from his previous relationship, he brings it onto this new relationship, and he's not here to love this new lady, he's not here to partner with this new lady to help her build, to be a support system, to be there emotionally and all of that. He's here to just, according to some of them, have a fair share of the cake and walk away. This lady, supposedly now in this context, is not the one who has hurt you. Someone else has stabbed you behind, someone else has broken your heart, if there is anything to be broken. Someone else has done all of these things to you that is not bad or that is not good enough, rather. But you bring it on to a new relationship and you're going into this new relationship with insincere purpose, and you end up disrespecting this new girl or lady that has given you a heart, and you end up breaking her own heart over a crime she did not commit. You end up saying all ladies, all women, all girls are the same, and you go on a mission to just avenge your whatever heart that was broken. And in the process, you're meeting good people, you're meeting good ladies, and you're hurting them and destroying them. That's one other thing that the ex, baggage from your ex, can also do to you. And in the long run, trust me, such men or women, as the case may be, you know end up with the wrong partners. I'm not saying that it's every time you show something negative that you get the result in the negative as well. But trust me, it might take a longer time, but everyone's definitely going to face whatever music they choose to play at some point in their life. They're definitely going to be dancing to it, if not today, sometime in the near future. And the funny thing is, the world has a funny way of revolving and making sure that you pay for every little deed that you do. And let's talk finally now on one other baggage that comes through from, your ex relationships or marriages that also affect your new relationship. Let's talk about the sex. This is important. Some persons in their previous relationships may have had good sex, with their partners, and when the relationship ends, they have expectations. Maybe with your former partners, the sex was great. When I mean great, when you remember the soundtrack, when you remember the mood, the tone, everything that happened in the bedroom, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to find this kind of person? And then when you meet a new person, you have this high standard, you have this supposed expectation, supposed fantasy all built up in your head about what sex should be, and then you see a new person, a new girl, a new man, and you want to judge this new relationship based on the capabilities, the abilities, and everything that has to do with your ex in the bedroom. This, of course, will hit the rocks because the new partner can never be like your former partner. He could be better, she could be better when it comes to the bedroom, when it comes to sex. But the truth is, it may not necessarily be the case. The person may be worse or at the same level, and then you're doing the comparison, and that's you bringing baggage from your ex relationship. Your ex is done and done away with for good. So you were supposed to start something new and judge this new person on a fresh slate or fresh page. And if for any reason you're not satisfied with this new person, you've got your own work to do. So these and many more comprise the X baggage that we are talking about on the program today. Now, trust me, if you're listening to me and you are that man or that girl or that lady or that boy who is in one present relationship and he's still holding on to one baggage or the other. There are many I didn't mention all, I cannot mention all. Come on, it's just a few minutes program here. But if you know you're holding on to one baggage, whatever it is, negative or positive, because sex is supposed to be positive one if the person was that good in bed. So if you're holding on to a baggage from your past relationship, married or not, and you're using that as a yardstick to judge your present relationship, trust me, you're only going to be pushing every other person you're going to meet away. If you really want to start afresh, if you really want to build a perfect and long lasting and happy relationship, you've got to close every chapter that ends and close it real good. You've got to stop talking about your partners, the former ones now, the ex partners. You've got to stop monitoring them. You've got to stop comparing them with the new partners you're with. You've got to stop talking about them at every opportunity that you get because trust me, you haven't healed. And before you know it, a new person is going to be a victim of a crime she or he did not commit. So if you want to start afresh, it is important that you put away all of the baggage that came with your ex before opening your doors, before opening your curtains, before opening your blinds, before opening your windows to that new person to start another relationship. I hope we'll take these words to heart today and do better even moving forward. Thank you once again for always staying through to us. Remember to subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you. I am Sonia Kojiro. Bye for now.